On Thai PBS World tonight, if you are longing for 10,000 baht, you might need to wait longer as the third phase of the digital wallet scheme is postponed indefinitely. With signing of strategic partnership, the Indonesian president announced to activate Energy Forum with Thailand. And rescue efforts continue for construction worker who's believed to be dead in Bangkok sinkhole. You're watching Thai PBS World tonight. I'm Frankan Shi.
And I'm Nabuna.
Yes, and today we begin the program with the latest update of the government's flagship program, Digital Wallet Scheme. It looks like people will have to wait longer because the finance minister already procrastinate the scheme until indefinitely, I think, that at this timing. Yet the postponement is not surprising because we have seen some red flags recently. Finance Minister Pichai Chunha-Wachira officially announced that the third phase of the digital wallet scheme has been postponed indefinitely, but he promised that the government will revive the scheme when the situation is right. The indefinite postponement is not a surprise as the government has kept postponing the third phase due to financial constraints, particularly in light of the prospect that Thai exports to the United States market may face reciprocal tariffs of up to 36%. This would affect many Thai businesses, SMEs in particular, which will be seeking financial support from the government. Under the third phase of the scheme, about 2.7 million Thais aged from 16 to 20 would have received 10,000 baht in financial support. Pichai said that the Economic Stimulation Board, which met yesterday, agreed to review budgets totaling an estimated 157 billion baht for projects under the Central Fund and to focus on projects related to water management, public transport and improvements of public toilets, to promote tourism and projects to promote education. In the meantime, he said the government will call on financial institutions to increase the issuance of soft loans with low interest rates to help SMEs to survive economic difficulties and to keep the GDP growth projection from falling below 1%. The Deputy Prime Minister also said that the government will use parliamentary mechanisms to review spending cuts for the 2026 and 2027 fiscal years and focus on the production sector, logistics improvements, and water management.
Meanwhile, the cabinet has approved the reallocation of budgets totaling 157 billion baht from the Central Fund, including the fund for the digital wallet scheme to support the project, which will help stimulate the sluggish economy. The economic stimulation projects are grouped into 5 aspects. The first aspect is water management. This includes measures to prevent flooding during the rainy season and to store water for the dry season, as well as water supply for communities and agriculture and development of tap water systems. The second aspect is communication systems. This includes solving traffic bottlenecks and missing links, increased traveling and transport safety, improving the railway crossings, building of more resting areas for trucks, and road improvement in secondary cities and tourist areas. The third one is tourism, which includes development of tourist areas such as more public toilets, rest areas, and traffic signs, increased safety for tourists such as the installation of more CCTV systems in tourist destinations, and the stimulation of tourism-related economy. The fourth aspect is the improvement of productivity in agricultural sectors and the reduction of impacts on the export sector and financial support for exporters. And the last aspect is for the financial support for community-based projects such as the Village Fund project. At the same time, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra clarified today that the government has not scrapped the digital wallet scheme and may revive it when the future situation is right. However, she said that since the Economic Stimulation Board decided that the digital wallet scheme is not the best measure to stimulate the economy, the government had to comply and use the budget for the utmost benefit, which is cope with the potential impact from the increased U.S. tariffs on Thai exports. So it has already been confirmed that the third phase of the digital wallet scheme is postponed indefinitely, but the budget is now used for other projects that are more urgent instead.
And I think this is a concern for Thailand's government, no matter in trust or credibility, because of course, we at the beginning of this year, Ned, we already talked about this scheme. The third phase will finally be implemented in Q3 this year, but right now, Q2 is about to finish.
Yeah.
And right now the government say that we have to stop the project indefinitely because, of course, as what Ned just said, the impact of tariff from the US, we have to give financial support for local communities. So many projects that we need to put our funding in. But I think 16 to 20, our young generation, they're waiting for that 10,000 baht to their bank account. But now the hope is diminishing.
Right, but I think there is a reason for it because the sluggish economy is now the biggest priority for the Thai government right now. So they have to reallocate that budget to save those people first. But then we have to say that since the Paetongtarn administration started, there are a few policies that already been delayed already, and one of them is the digital wallet scheme as well.
And of course, you talk about an increase for the university students' salary, first job are there to 400 or 600 baht, still on the postponement at this moment.
Exactly.
Right, and now we move the story to international relations. Of course, right now, the Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto now is in Thailand to visit our Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, and the President of Indonesia has proposed plans to reactivate the Energy Forum between two countries. Visiting Indonesian President Prabowo has announced plans to reactivate the Indonesia-Thailand Energy Forum as a concrete step towards strengthening bilateral energy security cooperation. The announcement was made during a joint statement with Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra given at Government House in Bangkok yesterday, according to Antara, the Indonesian news agency. According to the agency, the president sees the forum as a strategic platform on which to promote collaboration between governments and business sectors in the energy sector, particularly in the fields of new and renewable energy. Jakarta has also expressed openness to Thai participation in developing Indonesia's energy sector. The Indonesia-Thailand Energy Forum was established following an agreement between the two countries' leaders in Jakarta in October 2006. A joint statement was signed by the then Indonesian Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources and Thailand's Minister of Energy on December 21, 2007. The most recent forum session was held in Jakarta, Indonesia in 2010 under the theme of strengthening cooperation and tightening friendship in the energy sector. President Prabowo's two-day visit is the first to Thailand by an Indonesian president in 20 years, which also coincides with the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Thailand and Indonesia. He was granted an audience with their majesties, the King and Queen of Thailand, on the evening of his arrival. So, Ned, I think it's very important as we see so many Thai energy giants invested in Indonesia in past few years. And this is very important to also secure energy security in both countries.
Exactly. And now many countries are placing much more importance on the energy sector because it actually contributes to sustainable development as well. And now let's move on to this story. A worker fell into a sinkhole yesterday afternoon at an Orange Line mass transit construction site, and rescue personnel have been working really hard to save the worker, by digging through the mud, and so far there have been reports that the worker is confirmed dead. However, rescue officials are still not able to retrieve the body. So the rescue mission has continued from yesterday up until now after the construction worker fell into a sinkhole yesterday at the Orange Line mass transit site in Bangkok's Pom Prap Satrupai district. One of the main obstacles was the ongoing landslides near the sinkhole, which posed additional danger to both the worker and the rescue teams. Initial information indicated that the sinkhole is about 19 meters deep. A co-worker and eyewitness said that the victim was tightening bolts on machinery before noontime yesterday when the ground suddenly gave way. At first, a rescue worker fell about 10 meters into the hole and tried to dig through the mud by hand to create space to help the victim breathe. A backhoe was also deployed to clear the mud from the edges of the sinkhole in an effort to prevent further soil collapse. Officials from several agencies, such as the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Rom Katanyu Foundation, USAR Thailand, and other organizations are collaborating in the rescue operation. The Mass Rapid Transit Authority of Thailand explained that the incident occurred in an area where excavation work was underway for the construction of the Lan Luang station. Following the incident, Thailand's Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, a department under the Labor Ministry, expressed concerns over construction workers having to work in trenches, especially during the rainy season, where mudslides and soil collapses can occur, which can put construction workers at risk. The department cited information from the Mass Rapid Transit Authority that there are at least 60 underground stations that are currently under construction in and around Bangkok, which covers a very long distance. The construction itself requires a lot of work, especially with drilling the tunnels and building walls underground, which require extra safety precautions. Therefore, the department has urged all construction workers to wear protective gear for their safety and also suggested building a retaining wall to prevent trench collapses and mudslides. The department also shared an infographic on how to ensure safety for construction workers in trenches. And what we're showing you here right now is the original English version of the infographic published by the Center for Construction Research and Training in the US. But the department published the translation into Thai language for related authorities here in Thailand. So we had to say that these construction sites are very dangerous to begin with, and especially now it's rainy season. So mudslides and landslides will actually hinder the construction process. And if anything happens like this case, the rescue efforts is going to be very, very difficult.
Big question marks for Thailand's infrastructure projects here. This time is for the underground construction of the Orange Line here. Of course, as what Nat just said, the rainy season right now coming, hindering the construction of Orange Line here. And we have to talk about, of course, actually Thailand, especially in Bangkok, the soil is not that solid. It's actually comprised mostly by sand. So that's why we can see this sinkhole happening at this moment. And when we see this imbalance and unstable geographical issues here, and I think it's very difficult, no matter it's for Thailand or other nations' construction company, when they have to come to Bangkok to construct underground line or tube. They are very, very difficult. And of course, right now we already got the news that that staff already passed away at this moment, but they are trying to retrieve the body out from the sinkhole.
Exactly. So condolences to the family of the construction worker as well.
Right now we move to another story about Pink Line, as I think concert goers might be very delighted because the field trial of Pink Line extension will start from today to 16th June. A free trial of the extension of the Pink Line electric train service to Muang Thong Thani Station is open to the public from today until June 16th from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and from 6 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. on weekends. Trains will run at a frequency of 1 every 10 minutes, but will be increased to every 5 minutes when there are concerts or exhibitions being held at Muang Thong Thani Complex or when passenger loads demand it. there are only 2 stations on this extension impact Mentong Thani and Mentong Thani Lake. The Director General of the Department of Rail Transport say that the commercial service will commence on June 17th from 6 a.m. until midnight. The fare between the 2 stations will be 15 baht, but passengers who are traveling on the Pink Line train from other station to Mentong Thani will pay just an extra 8 baht. The fare for the entire route is 45 baht. The number of passengers using the Pink Line service between Khe Rai and Mingburi station in March this year was just over 1.6 million. With the opening of the new extension, it is estimated that the number of passengers using the train service will increase to an average of 14,000 daily. So, of course, it's a good news for concert goers this time. Of course, there are so many concerts at this moment in Mentong Thani, and actually, I took Pink Line once, and I think the service and the quality are good, and so it's good for concert goers.
Of course, it's going to be good news for concert lovers, because imagine coming out of a concert at Mentong Thani. You can imagine that the traffic is going to be very heavy during this time, whether it's on the road or on the railway stations. And imagine that the atmosphere, people are like packed together, very crowded on these train stations. So with the increase of the services on the Pink Line, it's going to help ease that traffic as well.
Right.
All right, normally in condominiums, we are actually not allowed to have pets because it can disturb our neighbors. And most of the condominiums here in Bangkok would have a no pet policy, yet some of the tenants have secretly raised their pets in their rooms. So imagine having complained many times and nothing has been done. And this is how a tenant actually retaliated. So they're pretty much saying that since you keep all of these dogs and cats in your room, then I'll bring these snakes. So a condominium resident staged a one-of-a-kind protest against a fellow tenant who kept noisy dogs and cats by allegedly releasing 2 large snakes on their shared floor. She posted this video clip and photos of the snakes crawling through the elevator area and stated that she had previously complained to the condo management about the animals, but no action had been taken. She even said that she had to put up with the dog's constant barking, bad cat odors, ticks, and fleas for so many years. Despite that, the condominium has a no pet policy. The clips have gone viral on social media and have gained mixed reactions from netizens who are now split into 2 camps, Team Snake and Team Dog. Supporters of the snakes argue that no one should have to put up with the constant barking and bad smells in a residential building. One popular comment read that those who haven't experienced this kind of situation won't ever understand. Another person said that the condominium doesn't allow pets, but that tenants kept dogs and cats and let them be noisy. And since no one took action, she had to do something. And look at that. That's a very large snake. And some supporters admitted, though, that her method was pretty extreme, saying that it felt brutal but satisfying. Other people criticized the release of snakes as irresponsible and potentially dangerous. One user asked, what if the snakes attacked someone in the condominium, and who will be held accountable? Another claimed that dogs are actually pets, but snakes are not. One netizen said that he nearly had a heart attack upon seeing the size of the snakes, while another noted that it was fortunate that no one opened the elevator doors during the filming. Some initially speculated that the footage was AI generated due to its surreal nature and the large size of these snakes. And in the end, both tenants reportedly met to resolve the issue, but the condominium's management fined each of them 10,000 baht. But if I were in this situation, I would be running away, because a snake in front of your room.
I would just black out, Nat. It's just too big. And as what you said, actually, it's quite irresponsible, because it's, I'm not sure, firstly, these snakes in the picture right now, are they venomous or not?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about it. And secondly, I think we still can use another way or meat way. to talk to the management team and talk to the tenants that, okay, we have to remove your animals, including cats and dogs, from your room because it causes a lot of chaotic moments for other people in the building.
Well, we understand that there are a lot of pet lovers here and they want to keep their pets in their rooms, but if it's disturbing other neighbors, then we have to find a way to deal with that. But using these snakes in front of your room, that, for me, I would say they have gone way too far because if you are very scared of snakes to begin with, there's no way you could ever tolerate that because it can be very dangerous.
And it's a way to threaten, I think, to the tenant too. So of course, there are, so as what you said, so many condominiums in Thailand, actually, they already hold that rules of no pet policy because of course you need owners or tenants, they really want to have their pet in their unit, but it's not possible at this moment. And use snakes to retaliate, wow, that's quite unique, but quite dangerous for me.
Very dangerous, I would say, not just quite dangerous. All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest stories about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ